All right, got the bike home. 2024 YZ 450FX. Picked it up today. They're just barely starting to get them to people that ordered them. For those of you that are curious about this bike, I'll do a quick little walk around on it and what's different about this bike from the YZ 450F. So this bike is a little bit different because it does have a kickstand on it. First of all, it's got the skid plate and it has a little bit lower seat height. This is just, I want to say it's only like a half an inch lower or something like that. It's not much of a difference. By the way, this is seat cover that I put on already from Decor Visuals. I really liked the Yamaha lettering on the side of it, but from the old 450FX, everything's different. I mean, this is the new chassis. It's the same as the new 450Fs. And a couple other changes is this also has a larger gas tank. As you can see, it continues down farther into the bike than the 450F. And the other biggest change on this is it does have a spot to mount a radiator fan. And I did buy one of those because I was curious about it. Wanted to try it. I ride at the dunes a lot, so I already installed that. Just bolts on right here, and it's plug and play. Came with a plug. Came with everything I needed to just plug it in and bolt it on. It was super duper easy. And the other thing that's also different from the 450F is that this has a 18-inch rear wheel. And instead of the, the MX-53 or 52 that comes on the other bikes, this has the MX-33. It's a softer tire, and it has the single knobs in the center instead of the staggered knobs like the other ones. Same kind of tire up front, and I'm pretty excited to start riding this thing and learn it. Should be quite a bit different from my old bike. I had a 2019 450F before, but I really liked the integrated kickstand on this and the 18-inch rear wheel because I have had some issues blowing tires through the whoops. Not knobby tires, but paddle tires. So for that, I got a brand new tire from Scat Track. This is an 8-paddle with knobs in the center still. I'm hoping that will keep it straight and it will track better and also corner better. I'll keep you guys updated on that and how that goes. But that's the new bike. I'm excited to ride it, and I think that this would be the perfect bike for a supermoto, especially because of that radiator fan that you can bolt right on for 120 bucks. Keep it cool at stoplights and whatnot if you wanted to. Comes with a kickstand, comes with a skid plate, comes with the different gear ratios in the transmission. It has that low first gear for those guys that like to do single track. This is kind of a do everything, be anything kind of bike. I also like that the new bikes have a rev limiter that you can set for starting, so you can pull up to the line. If you're going to do some sort of race, set it to 8,000 RPM and it will rev clip like a drag car on a trans brake pretty much, and it will just hold that rev limiter right there and you can just let out the clutch and go. So that's pretty cool. The new Power Tuner app is way better too. It has a totally different feel to it now, mostly because it has a lot of instructional stuff on it now, where you can tell it like, hey, I'm having trouble figuring out why my suspension is so bouncy, why I'm bottoming out, and it will tell you exactly what to do in the app. Or if you want more power on the top end, more power on the low end, it tells you exactly how to tune all of that into the bike. But that's pretty much everything about this bike. I guess the other thing that I really like is this new one is different from my old one because my old one, the oil filter and the oil fill cap were on separate sides of the bike, which always kind of annoyed me because I would have to go back and forth all the time. But for the reliability, it wasn't that big of a deal for me. Still wanted the Yamaha, but I really like that this has it on the same side. That's your water pump there, but your oil screen down there, oil filter, oil fill cap, and I haven't checked to see which side the drain bolt is on yet, but it's on the bottom, so you can always get to it anyway. But I'm interested to see how this fan does. So it'll be the first test when I have it at the dunes on a really, really hot day. But also another little thing on this bike. It's going to be hard to tell on camera, but these plastics have little sparkles on them. So everywhere that you see this black plastic, it's actually like black. Well, it's more of a dark blue with some sparkles in it. It's kind of cool. The wheels are also, it seems like they're a little bit darker anodized than they were before. Comparing it to my old bike from what I remember. I really like the toolless suspension adjustment here. And let's see about the bottom. The bottom is obviously still gonna be, yep, with a screwdriver. So that makes sense. So you don't wanna be hitting rocks or dirt and having it switch up your suspension settings. So, and this one is still the same as it always has been. But that's pretty much the bike. All the wiring runs on this side now for the most part. So the bulk of the wiring harness sits right behind this frame rail here. And I really like this new seat better than the old one. It's a lot easier to put on and take off, and I really like how this routes off to one side. I think that's kind of neat. But still toolless, super easy, except now it's reversed. Before you'd pop it off on the front and pull it back. Now it pops off on the back first, and then you slide this tab out. So that is one thing that's different. But it's still crazy easy, a lot better than trying to do it on some of the other brands. I know Cowie has made some changes so you can just rip off the side plate pretty much, but I much prefer this because chances of this coming off when you're riding is way lower than the side plate coming off. And I can totally see that being a problem with the Cowies and whatnot sometime in the future where they're just riding normally and pops right off. But anyway, this thing makes a lot of intake noises too. When I started it up, you can definitely hear it way louder than the old generation. And another cool thing that I was looking at is these guys right in here. It's almost like they designed these to be cut out for more airflow even. So I'd be curious to know if that's what those are actually for, but they just look like little cutouts that you could Dremel out or something and get a little bit more airflow in there if you wanted to, because this does not hook on there or anything. So that would be interesting to try that and see if it makes a difference. If it's worse, who knows. But anyway, that is the new 2024 YZ450 FX for you. If anybody has any questions, feel free to post it down below. And obviously, those guys that have been subscribed to my channel for a while, I am going to give this the old street legal treatment. Not because I plan on actually riding it on the street, but mostly for your benefit. And if you guys want to order street legal kits from me, then I will have all of the lengths like much closer, much better dialed in. And this is going to be kind of my development platform going forward, because I think that this is bar none the best supermoto you can go and buy right out of the gate. That doesn't cost you 15 grand like those KTMs do or whatever they cost nowadays. I was actually about $11,150 or something like that out the door with the radiator fan. And that's before taxes. Just so you know, before taxes and licensing, that's what this bike cost me. It's a little bit more than the 450F. So just in case you were curious, but it's an awesome bike. Sounds great. I'm excited to ride it.